So true. So true. Dr. Mohler, you yourself have an incredible workload and face deadlines each day with the publishing of a briefing and everything else that you do. What advice do you have for busy leaders that struggle to carve out a healthy work-life balance?
I'm going to be really honest. I don't claim to have any such thing. I want to say that I hope in the life stewardship, it evens out in some way. And so what I want to say is that if you do have a job like I have, it's a very big institution. We've got, almost 7,000 students. I mean, tens of millions of dollars at stake every day. As students to take care of, faculty to take care of and to lead. And then I do the briefing 5 days a week. And that's just got to be done. And that's an enormous, ton of bricks, as we Americans say, on me every single day. I'm also, editor of a major opinion section for, Christian magazine, World Magazine. And I'm speaking all the time. I do thinking in public. And I have to travel a lot. Travel's the hardest thing for me, by the way. And so I will tell you that what I say to you leaders, and especially to young leaders, and I'll speak specifically to young men often who are engaged in, their husbands, their fathers, they have young children, they're trying to figure these things out. I say, look, things have to be put in a perspective of a larger picture than 1 hour, than 1 day, than 1 week, than 1 month, even 1 year. And so I think over a lifetime, in a biblical sense, we need to plot our stewardship so that, when we have young children, when we had young children in the home, I didn't write the way I wrote later. My first book, I've written many, but my first book, I was thinking about it. I was plotting them, but my first book didn't come out until my youngest child was in high school. In other words, while you're tying shoes and holding hands to walk across the street, you're not writing books. And you need to be holding those hands. You need to be on the playground with your kids. That's not wasted time. That's what God's called you to do. That's the first priority. And the other thing is that, look, I lead an academic institution. So we live semester by semester. So, we've got 14-week blocks, 2 of them a year, in which, quite frankly, I'm behind all the time. Yeah. All I can hope to do is end up in the right place by graduation day at the end of the semester. I'm just being honest. This conversation took place considerably late because of an unavoidable meeting that I could not get out of, involving people from all over the United States. And so that's just the way life is lived. Yeah. So I say, look, time management is way overblown, generally done by people who aren't doing anything but talking about time management. And so I will simply say, if you're going to go around the world talking about time management, you can manage your time. If you're managing anything or leading anything, that is very difficult. David, good question. I think you need advisors, close counselors to help see this. I'm accountable to a board of trustees, the officers of that board of trustees, and I've been in this job for 30 plus years now. Yeah. And I really have learned that those officers really helped me. So about 20 years ago, they told me, intervention, they simply told me, when I was doing, at that point, a live radio program every day, Monday through Friday, they said, you're not going to do that in July. They didn't say, we'd like to talk to you about cutting back in July. They said, you're going to spend time with your family in July. Right. Some provisions got to be made. If somebody else has to do that program for a month, you're going to take that time off. I thought that was a radical thing. However, it's one of the greatest acts that was ever given to me. That board was absolutely right. And my family, and now not only children, grandchildren, and my wife, we can plan, okay, we'll get to July, and we have, that month together where I'm not doing so many of the things I would do. I don't have the daily pressure of the briefing. And we actually retreat to a house on a lake in rural Kentucky where we're surrounded by, cattle and deer. And that's very important. It's restorative. And my wife and I have learned, sometimes we just have to take time. Here it is, a block here, a block there. And but she's as committed to this as I am. And she understands that there's a sense in which, so long as we're in this job, people don't arrange crises on a schedule. They happen. and leading an institution or a major congregation, any congregation's major, or even being a parent. Like I say, if you want to understand the travail of leadership, and you want to talk about time management, ask a mom with a baby what time management looks like.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Let's be honest. It takes an insane amount of time commitment. Now, if the mother's spending that same kind of a commitment and attention when the child's 17, you do have a problem. And so, how many hobbies does a mother of, 2 preschoolers have? Well, she's got 2 hobbies right now. God bless her. Such is the kingdom. But in another time and season of life, it can be different. I hope I'm not talking too much and that's helpful.
Oh, that's really helpful.
I simply want to say that really I think most
Yeah.
secular time management people are lying to you. So I'll stop there.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Really helpful.